Hi guys.
Hi, hi.
Yes, we are back again, Abraham and my wife Angela, to answer the same question.
Yes.
Why would somebody that you love so much all of a sudden you want out? It can be in marriage or maybe you are still in courtship. Yeah, our emphasis here is dump
Dump
not,
not,
but
but
fix.
fix it.
So on our previous video, we've received a few suggestions and regarding the same topic, and the question being asked is, why is it that today's marriages they don't last anymore? Remember when we grew up, when we were young, our parents used to maintain families and you keep their marriages despite all odds. So there are suggestions about maybe the factors of communication breakdown, discussions regarding
Yes.
finances. Remember now the dynamics have changed in this era that we are living in. So a lot of things they are supposed to be done in a different way. So maybe probably within the context of respect, let's start from that angle. What do you think is the cause of this drastic change from that family oriented structures to this one, which is like people basically they are in for something else?
For something else. I would think like the way you are saying we have changed. There is change for real, and a lot of people, especially that long time ago, it was a man who has to work and a woman stay home. But now we've got a change. Now women can go and work, and a man can stay home. So I think that change is what is becoming a problem because then now the communication and the understanding of who is the breadwinner now and who is not and which duties to take up is becoming a problem. So
Yeah,
I
but
think that
the thing is also the way I look at it is because now we are in a platform where now things, the marriage is becoming more or less equal partnerships.
yes. Yeah.
This time around, you find that maybe the wife, she's the one who's the breadwinner in the family.
Yes.
And the idea is it doesn't matter who is who. The
Yeah.
concept at first was simple. You love someone, you fall in love,
Yeah.
and you create your own family.
Yes.
And then what changed? Is it because people now, what changed even in terms of communication, in terms of hiding things, less communication,
Yes.
discussing
The
critical
things that
things
are
like
happening.
finances, how to handle
Yes.
kids, and those kind of things.
Yeah, but what I think is, I think right now when we talk about that, things have changed. It's because of there are a lot of factors from long time ago that has created this barrier, and we can't go into it too much, but we can try and offload some of that slowly, slowly. I think it's on the part of the woman. The women have misunderstood what is independence and confidence, and when you are the one providing, probably there is the misunderstanding because also men have got ego. And I think what I feel like is the people have like the change, we don't know how to handle the change that is happening in our marriages and how to change because there was already that setup from our parents. But now since the world has changed and the eras have changed, we don't know how to again just fall, in place again.
Yeah, but the idea is, the skills, because that's why what worries me is the preparation to
Yes.
go into this institution called marriage.
Yes.
I think before someone gets married or you are in a relationship, there are procedures to say, look, this is the thing. When you are committing to someone, we commit fully. That's why we say till death do us apart. So if I find certain things, areas in life of my spouse which I don't feel it's something that I can live with, what is the best way like to approach that one? Because what I've observed is the tone, the words used, the way people approach one another, you know.
Yes.
You must remember even the words, the words they impact on you is
Yes.
different from me. I
Yes.
believe women, if I say any negative word to you,
Yes.
you actually start to live that word.
And that's very
So-
true. That's very true. We live it actually, and we always bring it up and feel the same feelings, and we feel it that way. And what I feel like is, for real, the way you are saying, the words are very, very, very powerful, and they affect both of us. And the way we say in the circumstance we say them, they actually mean different things to our spouses. So I think that's one of the things we must watch very well. We either building or destroying.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then also to remember, this is a teamwork thing. You know, when there is unity, it's very, very important to understand that unity is very key. And you need to be friends with someone.
Yes,
How do you
that's
feel about friendship in marriage? Because I believe those guys long time ago, it used to be more or less a husband and wife. You know, that thing of when your father
Yes,
comes
it's
to the
like,
house. But
it was like seriously
yeah,
husband and wife.
but now this
And-
time we have actually tried to be a little bit of friends. But what went wrong?
Maybe also the way they now the context have changed to be friendly a bit. Maybe that's what we are also not understanding as in couples on what is it that we have to be friends.
Has it impacted on the respect part of things?
Well, it's not really the respect. I think it's about more to be taught on the duties. Sometimes I feel like on a woman's side, there's more education to say how do you handle your husband. Even just where we are having to say, even if I've got a small business on the side, how do I'll still give you respect as a husband. But I think on the context where we feel like now when the world changes, where the man now sees that a woman can actually lead, can actually be a breadwinner in a family, we are refusing. We are actually failing to understand how can a man adjust when a woman is in the driver's seat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The idea of adjusting is very, very important because I believe as time changes,
Yes.
people must change.
Yes.
The way problem used to be resolved some time back, I think things have changed.
Yes.
So I believe maybe it's the change that we need to look at from another angle, like
Yes.
how do we embrace the change in context with the marriage,
Yes.
even raising kids.
Yes.
Remember, you find that you need to have a model.
That's true,
because this one is pulling this side.
And that
Maybe
one is
you
pulling.
tell the child this one is overloving. So we need to come up with a common goal. So that's why I think communication here.
It's very
Why
key.
did
It's
it
very
manage
key.
to break? Because now it looks like people cannot communicate, on a humanity level anymore.
That's very true.
It's either, the misunderstanding, the way somebody puts up an issue is taken differently, and maybe we need to go back to the basics. Maybe we need to go back to the Bible. Maybe we need to go
and
back
get the
to
guidance
our
from the
elders,
Word of God.
so
That's
that we
very true.
can actually enhance
Yes.
those skills.
That's very true, because some of these things, even if it's a woman who's working, like I think biblically, we always know that we all work for one goal. It's the family. So whoever is bringing in is doing for the family. So even if as the world forces us to change the context of how things are going to work, I feel like maybe one of the things we should find out, where are we trained further enough to come and handle, to come and embrace this change that is coming upon us. Maybe it's one of those things that we need to really look up, to look at and try to find out, to say, are we ready? Are we ready to change certain things in us, in the marriages, in our communications, in those boundaries that we are created? Because obviously something has changed from our parents' marriages to our marriages, just like the world has changed.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Just to contribute on that one, we need to also look at sacrifice. We need to be people who are willing to sacrifice
Yes.
our egos. Sacrifice.
Yes.
We need to create something. We need to have a vision of what kind of a family
do we want to have
create.
at the end of the day.
Remember
Yes.
that these kids of ours, it's the reflection of us
Exactly.
that they will live in the future.
That's very
so,
true.
Those are the ones we call acquired characteristics.
Exactly.
So how I treat you basically is the way
They were going to treat their wives.
their wives.
The girls, that's how they're going to see. That's how what they're going to accept, that their husband is supposed to treat me like that, because that's how daddy treated mom.
Yeah, so let's work on these things, and
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys, for the contributions that you have
Yes.
put across. It's very difficult to answer these things, guys.
Yeah.
But the thing is, despite our circumstances, it doesn't matter the situation. The bottom line is, can we try and go back to the basics and
Yes.
find solutions rather than simply, letting go of something
Yeah,
that
that's
was
what
valuable at a particular time in
Yeah.
life. And I mean, for me, better to fix it than rather to dump it.
Dump it. Yes, that's very
So
true.
when we come back next time, we'll try and look at also
Highlight
on a few things.
Yes.
Maybe talk more about finances. Why is it so complicated that
Yes.
people cannot declare effectively how money management systems are supposed to happen in
Yes.
a house?
And also talk
Because
about
now we have
respect,
gone to
because
that
I
issue.
think
Yeah.
those two things work together. It will be money problem. How do we handle? And sometimes we need to go deeper to how we feel about every topic. Because if in a marriage you are not talking about how you are feeling, each one must say, how do you feel about something, so that you can find a common ground. So if one is holding back and you want to come and you have a wish of thinking to say, probably it will go away. It won't go away.
It will never go
It will
away.
never go away.
The
You
bottom
need to
line,
talk
you
about
need to discuss something and
say how you
talk,
feel.
talk about something, how you
Yes.
feel about it,
Yes.
how you are not comfortable about
Yes,
it,
and how can we fix it? How can we
fix so
move
that
forward
we go in a
past?
space where everyone is comfortable, with our arrangement. Because
no
remember, this story, it's your story.
Yes.
And you have to write that book. When
Amen.
somebody reads it, they must say,
Wow, this is
They lived a husband and a wife.
And
So,
every story is different. Our marriage is different. Yours will be different. And we should try and find a right source where to get the information upon our marriages. I think that one is also key, because then we'll go astray if we're going to listen from everything. Source is very important.
yeah, I think we are running out of time for
Yes.
now, and we can't discuss everything, guys. But let's try to dig deeper.
Yes.
Let's go back to the Bible.
Yes.
Let's look into the scriptures and the principles of how God designed this thing called marriage.
Yes.
So that let's give glory back to Him.
Yeah.
And these we've got people that are responsible to look after us in marriages.
Yeah,
Our
that's
combes, our elders. Let's utilize all those sources and come up with something. Yes.
Yeah,
maybe
and
because-
always remember that we have got different. We are different. We have got different personalities. So definitely, anything that you are going to discuss, you are not going to have the same feel about something. So that's where the crash will be coming. But if you can find a common ground, then that's good.
Yeah, which
Yes.
comes to the conclusion: dump not, but fix it.
So
Thank you very
thank
much.
you so much. Keep well.
Keep well, guys.